Okay, so we went to Washington, D.C. recently, and we, as my family, and we got a chance to visit the Bible Museum or Museum of the Bible. First thing we did was go to the very top floor because it has this thing there that shows you pretty much all of the important buildings in Washington, D.C. It's actually pretty cool to see all that from the top, and it shows you exactly where it is. You can look at the legend, and then you look up, you go, oh, yeah, there it is. That's the important Parliament building, the judicial branch, the executive branch, all that stuff you learn in your civics class. Okay, I got to see it live, and if you ever get a chance to go to Washington, D.C., I highly recommend checking out the Bible Museum. But the thumbnail for this video says, why is the Bible Museum in Washington, D.C.? And I'm going to get to that answer in the end of this video. So I want you guys to stay tuned because first I'm going to show you what we saw, which led me to ask this question. But before we go any further, I want to thank today's video sponsor, AI Ranger. AI Ranger is an AI-powered photo analysis for secure, instant emotional insights for parents. Having access to real-time emotional analysis of your kid can help prevent and even detect early signs of so many symptoms that kids face today due to the effects of technology, doom scrolling, cyberbullying, and anything else in between that. AI Ranger is a new powerful tool that parents can use to help prevent these things for their kid and provide emotional stability. All right, let me get the word right quick. Let's get locked in. Okay, first thing is the pottery and the storage containers that were found in these historical digging sites in Israel, Samaria, Damascus, Syria, Turkey, all of these places that were pretty much involved in the Bible from the beginning. All right, before I go any further, I just gotta address this because if you're like me, you're probably thinking, if I'm looking at real evidence from the places that the Bible describes, doesn't this prove the Bible is 100%, 1000% correct? The answer is yes. If you think about it, most people want proof, right? I need to see it in order to believe it. Okay, now, no scientist has shown anyone proof of 2 billion years ago. Zero, right? They can't whip out and go, hey, this is from 2 billion years ago, because it's just not. But you can go to the Bible Museum today and see proof of things from biblical times, like exactly what they talk about in the Bible, and you can see evidence of it. Doesn't that just prove the Bible is 100% correct? Am I crazy for thinking that? I can't be the only one thinking that. But anyway, back to the tour. Now, what you're looking at right there are arrowheads used in battles back in those times. And the fact that some of those arrows that were found killed someone at one point is crazy. Just think about it, right? They got arrows that went through somebody's skull, and now we're looking at it on display. All right, so a lot of this stuff here I didn't even know what they were used for, so I spent a lot of time reading a lot of these little inscriptions on the wall, and it really helped me kind of get my head around what I was looking at. So I slowed the video down as much as I could in those areas, so if you want to pause it, you can read. A lot of it was about, the historical people that were using those tools and where they came from in the history. And it really does coincide with the Bible. It's kind of crazy, but it's just weird seeing it in person. right here is also some of the digital parts in the museum. So as you're walking through, it's a mixture of like, actual things you can see and touch and video. And they have different type of video. They have shows that run on the clock. They're like 2 to 3 minutes each. You can go and sit down and watch those. They're actually pretty interesting. So we watched all of them, I believe. And yes, my son was in there yelling like a wild animal. All right, right here is also some cool things that I thought I'd throw in this video that I used my iPhone on. And you can see how preserved these tools were, and they've lasted this long. Is crazy. Just think about the things we use today, all the plastic crap that will last a long time, but because they're plastic, but they're not gonna be pristine like this. They're not gonna look like they have any value. You know what I mean? Like if you found a plastic bowl 100 years from now, you're not gonna be like, oh, this was valuable. Like it has no value. But as you've seen these plates made out of marble and all kinds of material, it looks like it still has some value. It looked like whoever was using it definitely was not poor in that time period. And I'll look at these jugs right here. I mean, look at the size of them. These are all made by hands and tools way back in biblical time period. That's just amazing to see that you can actually go and touch these things. Some of these you could touch. A lot of them had a sign. Oh yeah, you can see on the sign right there, it says luxury food storage. Again, luxurious things from back then still last till today. I don't know if we can say that about the things we have today. Again, I've never seen all of luxurious things that we have today. I'm sure it's crazy things out there. This map right here was showing the fall of Israel, and there were many in the Bible. If you start reading, probably the end of Genesis until on, there are so many falling of the Israel, and it was by design. All right, the thing that I was actually most interested in at this museum were coins. All right, I work in finance. I think in currency all the time. So I was interested in coins because back in those times, whoever the ruler is would have his face or whatever imprint he'd want on the coin. So if a new ruler showed up, immediately he's going to have new coins. And these coins last forever because they used to actually be worth their weight in whatever metal it was, whether it's gold, silver. It would be worth its weight in that material, so they would last a very long time. And we can actually see the coins of whoever was in charge back during Jesus's time. And there were a few guys, but you had Caesar was obviously the main emperor of Rome. But then you had some smaller guys like Pontius Pilate. All these guys, they all have their own coins. That's one of the perks of being ruler at that time. Even if you had like a region, you can create your own coin. Crazy stuff. But this museum has a lot of these coins. Like you can pause and you can see some of the history. They talked about how they weighted the coin, so you know how much of a coin you're paying, with, again, being worth its weight in the metal. And they actually had a weight system with using rocks. I mean, look, you can see it right there. So the stone weight system it's crazy, but you have to know the exact weight, give or take a few of the metal that you're paying with. So the currency system was actually very intricate in a lot of ways. Actually kind of cool. These are some more weights there. Oh, all right. So these are some of the coins that I was talking about. If you see right here, this silver dinar, right? Look, it has the face of whoever was the emperor of that time. And it says it too. I can't even see that right now. right? There's a bronze coin. So the difference would be, obviously Caesar would be on like a gold coin or something fancy, and then the lower guys in different regions would have their own type of coins, because then you can have your own tax. The famous Jesus answers the questions about the Pharisee asked him about, what do we do with these coins? He says, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. And these are one of these coins that he was referring to for that region. But so far, I've only shown you guys the coins in the historic pottery and all type of cool things they made back in those biblical times. We haven't really answered the question of, why is there a Bible museum in Washington, D.C.? Now, I asked that question because if you've ever been to Washington, it's a pretty open, liberal type of town. Okay, there's a lot going on that comes with whatever liberal type of town you can imagine, and you can Google it if you need some examples, but it's that type of place. And those type of places usually run really far away from the Bible and any principle that comes with the Bible. Anything associated with Jesus Christ is usually frowned upon in these very, very liberal places. So I'm actually very surprised that the Bible Museum is in a place where a lot of people don't actually believe in the Bible. Anyway, speaking of the Bible, we actually checked out a lot of the history in the background and the coolest Bibles you've ever seen, and the crazy amount of languages, and some languages that is banned in. And I'm gonna have to do a whole separate video on that because that was also a lot. Okay, so you guys tune in to the second part of this video and another question about this later.